welcome back to part 128 of my Rome Let's Play. Total War Rome 2 with Davides Impera. So picking things up, we left them last time. We are back. Finally. Electrical issues that I've been suffering over the past few weeks have been resolved. Fingers crossed. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the post over on the YouTube post tab or the Discord or anything like that. Links in description and things. But yeah, sit back, relax, enjoy an hour of Rome 2 right now, guys. It's good. It's good to be back. It's good. Things are looking up. And we are going to go smash Pulpadiva. They have a solid garrison, though. We've got this army available. I was going to march straight on in. Part of me is wondering if... I mean, we can bring these two armies in. I want to attack that army outside and draw them all to me. If I do, and I don't bring up another army, they'll definitely come out to me, but I will be facing pretty much two full stacks. There's a lot of cavalry here. Pin them and smash them. Could work quite well. We have no cav. Yeah, I probably should bring you guys in. I'm going to declare war on you guys. I'm not going to call the clients in because they might break off with me. Going to move you in. And I'm going to attack with this one. Unless that one's ended up blocking his movement. Yes, it has. That's fine. So, what they might do is this. So, I mean, I don't plan on sieging the city. Because I'd rather attack them in the field. But let's get stuff queued up. In case.
None will escape.
I can go straight in with the ballista, but yeah, I want to attack that army outside and draw them all out, so I have to break that siege next turn anyway, but just in case they decide to sally out during the end turn phase, which is fine. I've got this army coming across. We're going to keep going and gobbling up more client states all through here. And I made a boo-boo and I took Ephesos last time. Oh, also, apparently, I don't know which settlement. Was it Jerusalem that I was looking at going like, what? Oh, no, it was these ones over here, right? Parathion. Parathionion. That one. While I was going like, how have I got so many plebs here? Apparently, it's because something I have missed out on the whole way DEI's population and culture mechanic works is that when you occupy a settlement, if your culture is the dominant culture, i.e. it's greater than 50%, so it's the dominant one, present, then it converts the majority of the population to your population classes. So that's why I've got a huge number of plebs here, because we had obviously spread enough Latin culture over here. But not anywhere else, I guess, at the time. But by the time we'd taken these ones, we had, yeah, that one's all... Not those two, not Kyrene and Agulia, but that we'd taken them, then we waited for like 10 turns, didn't we, to build up economically. But this settlement, we took pretty much last, and that's why we got so many plebs. So that part of that, I saw a comment saying like that's the reason why you should raise and then occupy, but I didn't like doing that just because to me it felt like I don't want to just have to play the game purely for the most optimal way of how the mechanics work. I want to have a balance of both playing to the strengths of the mechanics, but also, you know, within a theme, within a role play to some degree. Not super restrictive role play, but to a degree, which is why, you know, I was like, Rome wouldn't just necessarily go around just raising everything, or, you know, they might have, you know, enforced their will upon populations and like that, and there were certainly times where they did raise settlements, but it's not like every single settlement they raised the ground and then rebuilt. So that's why I haven't done this campaign, because it just doesn't resonate with how I like to play, which, yes, makes it tougher for me to replenish and recruit more of my troops, but in a way, actually, as well, because I think follow-on comments from this was that said this is the major issue some players have with DEI and how it does its population and culture mechanics. You know what? I actually don't have an issue with that, because it helps adjust the pace of your campaign. So I mean, obviously, we're in full steamroll right now, but it's still a bit of a challenge. And the challenge of that is the logistics of managing such a large empire, in that your population isn't instantly converted. Sometimes I've had to recruit fresh reserve forces all the way back in our core heartlands, as you would expect, and then sail them out to the frontiers. I can't just suddenly get my... And I don't want to necessarily play into mechanics that would optimize that, i.e. raising settlements on the frontier and then occupying them, which would massively increase my population gain to those frontier provinces. I actually like the struggle that we're kind of having because we're having to weigh up logistics and empire management and organization a bit more. So I actually don't have a problem with that. And actually, if anything, I'd say let's disincentivize raising settlements even further in DEI so that you really do have to weigh up that organization logistics even further. But then when it works in your favor, like we do here, happy days. Now, this is now a great hub to recruit our Roman troops in the east. With plenty of plebs. So I know some people are saying like send more forces back to Rome, rebuild, regroup, and then push on out again. We can actually do that from here now. We just need to make sure we need. Well, what we need to do is build a Roman barracks though. Although I think we can get most of them from the auxiliary garrison. Something people were saying though is surely Lionheart you can get rid of this force. Surely this one, Bassus, doesn't need to be sat here at Rome. The other suggestion was surely I consider getting rid of the supply complex and build the Pantheon there, rather than having to wait for more growth to get the surplus there. We're at 4 right now. We are heading that way. We're currently getting 93 growth. I mean, it's still probably, what, 20 odd turns before we'll be able to expand that, but pretty good. I mean, the banditry, that's the main thing. It's being crushed by that building there. I'm just looking at the totals. What have we got? We've got 28... 30, 65 versus 65 positive total. If I've done my maths right. We're getting 65 positive total to so you're right, we're to 60 negative. So we're positive 5 banditry right now. If we got rid of this building, that takes away negative 16 banditry removal. So we would then instantly plunge into pretty mid-tier risk of banditry. So I don't really want to get rid of this because I think that will cause more problems. If I were to get rid of this, then I feel we'd have to keep this army here, whereas right now we can get rid of this. I mean, well, we can get rid of this and we'll go to -5 overall banditry, but that we can manage. So I'm not going to get rid of that supply complex just yet. Although that said, we could certainly afford, we could survive perfectly fine with Rome losing money constantly to banditry. Okay, we've gone to actually 8 banditry. So yeah, we don't really want to go any higher than that. But we could experience banditry here in Rome and be fine. Economically. But I'm not going to do it. I'm going to bide my time and build the Pantheon finally when we got the surplus. Naturally. That's what we're going to do there. The other thing is that on politics, the reason why they're also happy provincial initiatives is the fact that we've got our tax rate apparently really low down. That is apparently what's causing that modifier. And it's also the whole populist thing is also it's -10 loyalty for every level of taxes above average, but apparently it goes the other way. I think if you have it lower than average, it also improves it further, which is why that's giving 70. You guys are only getting 10, but that's because you don't have populace, whereas those guys got 10, but Mughal is helping you guys out, which is +2 loyalty for every province that brings in 500 more wealth. So yeah, we should not need to do anything there with any of them ever again. And I think they are loyal and secure completely, which is great. Absolutely great. We've got rebels to see off with this army. Smash. We're just going to help get the public order here up to scratch, and then we'll sail them to the east, I guess. Yeah, that improves things. So let's get that just up to 100 quickly. Lovely stuff. Right. Just check. Do we have any other armies that need moving? Spies. just gathering up, aren't we? We're just taking our time a little bit while still making some hits against Pergamon. Do, 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 do. You're keeping these guys supplied. Crassus, I guess we're bringing you over here to replenish. Yeah. We need this to rebel so that I can client it, don't we? So actually, let's... Well, actually, no, we wanted to keep this, didn't we? No, we said actually we'll keep Ephesios for now because Restored Tomb of Solus is all regions minus 50%, 15% construction cost reduction. And plus 30% wealth and culture, all regions. Oh, sorry, that's just within this province. But plus 7% tax rate, all provinces. That's why. Yeah. That's worth keeping. So yeah, we'll keep Ephesios. We won't worry about kicking that one away. We'll bring you guys over to go for Pergamon. But again, we'll client it. So he's Terra. You guys are going into Hegra. Can auto resolve that one. Nice, 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 nice. Yeah, occupy. So I mean, we might be able to spread our culture to other places nearby if we stop and pause for a bit, which will make it easier to conquer. And that I'd be happier with that. Oh yeah, just sitting and building up again. So that'll be... Oh, that's good. That's fine. Upkeep, yep. How is our Empire maintenance? Have we still completely and utterly crushed that down again? Yep. We've nuked that. All the characters that we have active. Although we probably should start building it up in some of the others again. You guys are here. Yeah, we're gonna hold. That's fine. You guys are all just holding there and replenishing. We're taking our time. Restoring and rebuilding. You guys are back up at full strength. So, I mean, we've got this army to come in as well, which will probably stop them pushing out towards entirely. So I don't really want to do that, so we'll move this army along here. Corleonis are over here. Yeah, and you guys are watching. That's a navy, right? Yes, we can't just push out there. This army, this army, this army. Well, I'm going to send you. I'm going to send you up over here. Need some cavalry. We can actually get some of them in there. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. We've got too many of them. We don't need these legionaries, so we can sort some of them around. We can get a... We've got that there, haven't we? We need to get torsion techniques, which we are currently working towards. And then you have to decide we need another barracks in here. Potentially, although I think we can get most of it from the auxiliary garrison, so we'll see what's available there, and if not, we'll get a proper Roman barracks in there as well. Eternus. Yeah, again, you could push in with him. They've got armies over here that we could go and strike. Are they going to stand and fight, or are they going to run? Who am I at war with over here? Just Nabatea, right? We peace out with Medea, Atrapantani. Not war with the Matin for now, just Nabatea, their last settlement. That's all that's there. War with those guys, they'll get squished shortly, so that's those two there. Pergamon, we're over here, and then it's slaves, isn't it? Yeah, okay. I'm going to go attack, because I can't see them having loads of other forces over here. It makes no sense. We fought so many of them. We can take a decisive victory here with the Emperor. Ransom them. They're going to keep moving. I'd love to chase them into Bohemia. I'd need military access. I might be able to buy it though. I have plenty of gold. So you would think military access for 120k? All my gold, 200k. Seriously? Okay. Okay. I won't trespass again because the last thing I want is another war. It's the last thing I want. Move back towards Jerusalem. Why are we attritioning? Oh, you're fine now. Cool. Okay. Right, now we need to just go see what needs building. So Latium's bringing in 50k. Swell. Let's see if there's anything for us to build anywhere. We're just going ahead with building wherever we can see stuff now. We shouldn't need to be careful. Everything is increasing and happy. We just need to make sure obviously our food keeps growing, but we've got plenty of that in surplus. Britannia. There we go. So if we see anywhere that could have something built, we need to get it upgrading. So we're building so many food things to counteract all the cost of food that we're experiencing as we're upgrading to this late game process. And that is fine. Everybody upgrades. So we've now done, we've got everything building that we could possibly build. And we still have 175k. That army's ready to go. Or you've just expanded that force. So we're going to see if we can build another one over here, or see if we can build another force over at Antioch. We've got that Roman barracks coming on in anyway. So yeah, let's get another force here. I'm trying to think who we want to recruit though. Let's just have a quick little look at the family tree and work it out. Figure out who's who and why. So Emperor Trio, Curio, you have another son here. We've got Crassus as the heir. Crassus died. Oh, this one's adopted? Yeah. So he's not a true-born son. Okay. Cool. Was that wife to the previous emperor? Okay, right, hang on. Regulus, no. It's like looking for any sort of Strabos ones. We've still got plenty of characters we could marry off, but there's just so many of them that I'm not going to worry about it. Who next in the kind of direct family line? There's another Bath, he's a politician, so we don't want him. Okay, so he adopted her, so that's not the direct line. It's anyone from these ones here. Got these daughters that we can marry someone and have out, but I'd rather be true-born sons. Leading our forces. The glory of Rome. Right, Trio, let's look at your brothers then. Tibertus. Ah, here we go. Tibertus' son has just come of age. Nobarus. I'm going to call you Nob. Commander Julius Nobus. Should we have you? We've got Costa already out there. Oh, look, there's a Nero. I'm sure they'll be great. We've got a Glaber. Camillus. You have no true-born son surviving you, do we? A bastard son. That's or Libo. So yeah, it probably is through Turdus. Not Turdus, sorry, Tubertus. And hit this son here. Lucius Julius Nobus. Alright, let's go find Nobus. He should look like his picture. Yep, there we go. Reinstate the legacy of the 8th. There you go, matey. Biggest knobbers. Right. These are really cool. Look at them all. Is it just one of each?
Are you ready to serve Rome?
I'll just have a mix of all the different ones. That's really cool. These guys are all hit their limit. Otherwise, these guys all have exactly the same stats. It's most elite archers. These guys are tier 5 on the resistance, so give me another one of them. I have six of those. You can have, let's give you 2 onagers. We can have these guys in here. Oh, that's it. Enough. That's all my plebs. Get some horse archers. You know what? I might actually go for some of them. Let's have 4 of them. Let's have these guys instead of melee cav. All those Syrians. And then I'll give you infantry. Will come from here. Hopefully, it'll be the Legionary, Imperial Cataphract Legionaries. Legionaries. Or we just bring this army over as a mule force. Yeah, that seems cool. Right, let's do that. Let's end the turn. Oh yeah, I forgot that fleet. We were scouting stuff out, weren't we? Ready for when we're going to hit Scythia once again. But I think we're just going to take our time, build up, spread stuff out as much as we can, and go from there. Rhodes is attacking. Enter the side of my ally. Yeah, it's fine. We're going to go back to Rhodes. Go back to war with them anyway. All good. When's the next battle? Whenever we find one that's going to be decent to actually fight. It'll be against these guys though. The Tolister Boggy. So shouldn't be too much longer to wait. Because we're hitting their settlement. Although they didn't sell out against us. That's also, we need to break the siege, attack their army outside, and draw them all out to faces in the field. So we should be able to see that as a nice big battle in a second. Have a friend in Rome, you know. What's his name? You know what his name is? Dickus. He's got a wife, you know. Incontinentia buttocks. What a film. Haven't watched Life of Brian for ages. Clickety, clickety, clickety. Nice.
Reporting.
Rhodes deal, that's fine. He will be another patchwork.
Attack! For Rome! Retreat, men! Retreat!
Patchwork conquest. I bet I can't reinforce with that army now. No, they're all going to come out to me. So, oh, seriously? Is that going to be all my movement range reduced?
We hunger for battle.
Yeah, I can't get... What I can do, though, is have this army come in and reinforce. they should reinforce for them to go to strike.
We hunger for battle. At your command. To battle.
Yeah, there we go. That's better. We're drawing them all out to the battlefield. Order Resolve says we're losing 42% of our force. I think we'll lose 20. Here we go. Reinforcements coming in over here. So we'll deploy up on this side to link on up with them. You guys like so. Have these auxiliary spears anchoring my left. Bit of an angle. Cataphracts here. Rest of the cavalry in like so. General in like there. Am I planning on playing Warhammer 3 with the Demon Prince on Immortal Empires? Yeah, no plans to revisit Daniel, to be honest. He's kind of a one and done for me. Obviously, I appreciate he has been adjusted since he first released at Warhammer 3's launch, but there's just nothing that, for me, kind of inspires a replay of him, to be honest.
By your command, troops and awaiting orders. Ready. Troops and ready. Happy to serve Rome. Archers. Ballista. That's me.
If I'm perfectly honest, I'm actually not that bothered about what CA have announced for Rome 2 for its legacy update. I actually, I'm not really excited for the changes. I mean, it sounds like there'll be good changes, and the most important thing, which they've already announced, is, and that's what I said to CA when they actually previously announced these things to creators earlier on in the year. And I can't go into the full scope of the changes or anything like that right now, but the one thing, instant feedback I gave them was that whatever they choose to do with any of these legacy updates for any of Total War games, they have to offer a rollback to the state of the games as they are now, because for all of them any of them that they would go back to, it's all been far too long since they were actively updating them for the community to, or should have to, have now treasured mods that are no longer being worked on and developed be broken and ruined with no way back to roll back to a previous version, just because CA decide to, try and do some community favoring by coming back and giving some updates to these older titles. And in the nicest way possible, I kind of want CA to prove me wrong here. And I know that Jack Lusted is incredibly talented, but I honestly don't think that these updates will ever actually bring anything truly meaningful or ultimately really worthwhile with just one person working on it. They've not given enough resources to it to make any of them really truly meaningful. Unless basically he spends years and years working on updates. I mean, the things like Rome 2, the stuff they've announced that they're planning on doing sounds nice, sounds great. Nice little subtle tweaks and adjustments here, and a quick refresh of graphics, which is basically what DEI already does in most senses, and then takes it a lot further. But I don't expect them to do like a performance overhaul on Total War Attila, and that's the one thing I would love to see. But I don't think it's within the scope of what they can actually achieve. Like they can never make it 64-bit. It's just the only way they ever made Attila code go to 64-bit was with Thrones of Britannia, and they had to give it a whole new game development budget to actually make it work, or make it be viable, which makes sense. It's a lot of work involved, beyond what just a single person can do. If they could maybe adjust the lighting in Attila, that would be nice. And the only reason I really mention Attila is that, one, it's probably one of my favorite historical titles they've done, and also probably to essentially aid the Dawnless Days mod, the Lord of the Rings Overhaul mod, look a bit better. And if there's any ways that they can squeeze in some little performance tweaks that don't require full code rewrite, that'd be great, but probably unrealistic considering what would actually be required to improve performance, as we saw with Thrones of Britannia. There's just a lot more to it than just, optimize code. So the only other meaningful thing I think they could do, and I think considering perhaps was it Jack Lusted that was in charge of the post-launch support for Three Kingdoms? Or he was at least the one that was fronted in the Three Kingdoms 2 or the future Three Kingdoms thing. I actually think that the total war that most deserves them going back to and actually working on is Three Kingdoms. And it's for them to do the community patch, or not necessarily the community patch, but to fulfill the community's wishes and sort out all the issues that remained in Three Kingdoms before it was completely abandoned. Like, that is, I would say, the most important total war that they should go back and actually fix. Like, the game isn't broken to the point that it's unplayable, but a lot was promised and not delivered upon. Now, I appreciate plans change, things change, that's totally fair, but that is the title that I think got the biggest shafting in recent memory. And I actually think that's the one they probably should focus on, because I think, obviously, the reason they're going for Rome 2 is that it has the highest concurrent player count of a historical title, of a legacy historical title, so it makes sense for them to focus on the one that most people are still playing. But I think they'll find the vast majority of people that are still playing Rome 2 right now are playing it for the nostalgia and for the mods that have carried it far. They're not playing it because of necessarily the vanilla experience anymore. And I'm not sure that these adjustments that they're planning on making will really convince a lot of people to either come back to that regularly, or they'll try it out for a bit and then they'll roll back so they can keep playing the mods that they typically were playing on. But I think the one total war that they could actually see a proper resurgence of, if they did this right, and it would take probably maybe like a solid year or two of work, and they should definitely dedicate more resources than just Jack Lusted to it, is Three Kingdoms. Yeah, but they should be doing 64. We've already said that's just not possible. It's not even if they put more people on it, it's a budget thing. Essentially, Thrones of Britannia was the 64-bit upgrade for Attila, because it was built on Attila's code, but it required a game budget for them to do that, to invest in it, to make it viable. They don't have those kind of resources for what these legacy updates are intending to do. Three Kingdoms, on the other hand, they could well have Jack go through all the bug reports bit by bit, tweak and adjust things. That, I think, is actually achievable. That is what's achievable. Maybe 40k sells. No, there's just no way. There is no scenario which makes financial sense for them to waste money on upgrading Attila's 64-bit, unfortunately. And this is from someone that would love to see it have better performance. This is from someone that would love to see it have better performance, but there's just no way. Nothing would make sense for it. If they decided that they wanted to improve performance for Attila, the thing that would actually make more sense for them to do would be make an Attila 2. There is just no valid, viable scenario where improving Attila makes any kind of financial sense, and that is what they're going to base their decision off of. That said, though, what could actually be a bit of a windfall for them, and might even spur on, potentially, the resurrection of that cancelled Nomadic Steppe DLC for Three Kingdoms, could be a resurgence in people playing Three Kingdoms. And the best way they could get people to come back to Three Kingdoms, myself included, because I've sworn off it and, for as long as they don't do anything to prove it, would be to do a legacy update to Three Kingdoms, fixing all the broken mechanics and issues with it that the community cried out for when they announced the future of it. Because people basically said, fine, if you're gonna ban the game, that's fine, but could you please do one last patch to get it to where it needs to be so we can enjoy it for the foreseeable future? Three Kingdoms is the legacy project they need to do. Oh, I remember Ruse on... Yeah, I remember that. It had a really cool trailer. And then I played it and felt like it just kind of underperformed and under-delivered, really, on what I was hoping for from it. But cool concept. I think stuff like Steel Division 2 delivered upon it a bit better. Yeah, the gaming table trailer for Ruse was incredible.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
That was a really cool trailer. Such a big battle. But it's fine. Just take our time with it. Flatten this part of the line out a bit more.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of didn't really have it on my bingo card, actually, for the whole legacy announcements, but, you know, not necessarily saying I'm planning to do a full-on rallying call, but when I eventually get around to making a video on this, and maybe I'll discuss the stuff that they talked about and they announced, maybe on my stream on Friday, and upload it as a separate video, showing my thoughts on it. I'd be up for rallying, for sort of saying to the community, we should rally around the idea that after CA are done with these Rome 2 updates, Three Kingdoms is the one that they really need to go back to, because I think they have a prime opportunity to actually undo a grave mistake that they made dealing with the community, and I think that's what the aim of these legacy updates should be: righting wrongs with the community and showing that they do actually care. And I think Three Kingdoms is like an open goal for them to go back to, and to say, you know what, we got it so wrong with the... Not only was that video completely tone deaf, but we got it so wrong with our priorities with that, through our own mistakes and our own DLC policy and choices. Here's an opportunity, we're going to fix it. The whole diplomacy system. I don't necessarily think that the diplomacy system needs reworking in Three Kingdoms. What I think needs reworking is the UI for the diplomacy, because it's just a mess. Three Kingdoms probably has the best diplomacy of any Total War game of the entire series, but it's an absolute mess to try and see and understand and kind of actually utilize the additional depth that they did add in with Three Kingdoms and its diplomacy mechanics, which is a huge, like, wasted and missed opportunity for them. I think the UI is probably one of the biggest problems there. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Yes, there's certainly some of the diplomacy mechanics that do need adjustment, but I think a huge part of that is actually how the UI just doesn't really tell you or show you what does stuff well. Editing this episode is going to be... I'm going to keep this discussion in here because I think it's actually a pretty valid discussion. Sometimes I mute these bits, but... You know, we're still fighting the battle fairly well. We've got some units that are caught out, but that's fine. Playing as best we can. It's a large battle that, for the most part, just needs me to sit back, relax, and fire the cavalry in. So I think we're all good. And I'd like to think, I'm hoping that we'll be interested to see what people think about my proposed campaign for Three Kingdoms being the next legacy project.
Units has used all its ammunition.
But yeah, I will certainly make a video, maybe Friday, if not next week, sharing my thoughts on what they announced in their spring showcase. I don't know if I'll do each game as a separate topic, a separate video, like a little short series of topics, or whether I'll do it all in one. But yeah, I definitely want to know people's opinions and thoughts about potential of Three Kingdoms, maybe.
One of our units has used
Because I like, now I've said it, I can't think of another Total War, another legacy project that is deserving more so than Three Kingdoms. And I appreciate that they're most likely only ever going to focus on legacy games which they know are got reasonable concurrent counts onto. I don't know what the player count's like actually for Three Kingdoms, to be fair. But I think Three Kingdoms has the most potential to actually pull back audience and players too, if they actually do a meaningful update. And again, I'm not holding my breath on substantial updates for them, for these games, because there's just one guy working on them. And while, as I said, while Jack Lussard is incredibly talented, he is still just one person at the end of the day. But I think releasing a kind of final sweeping patch for Three Kingdoms is certainly within the scope of what is actually achievable, given what they've announced they're planning to do for Rome 2. I think the scope of fixes required for Three Kingdoms in a final patch are exactly what they're aiming to deliver pretty much with this. 6.5k for the past 24-hour peak for Three Kingdoms, yeah. Is it actually more than Rome 2?
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
That's even more interesting then. Rome 2 is 4 to 6.5k. Okay. So very close then. Well then, in that case then, it hopefully is a likely candidate for them in the future. Rome 2 has the same peak. Right, yeah, that makes sense. Right, they're about to all break. There we go. Yeah, I mean, like cavalry, the cataphracts have been stuck in a little bit, but they've still been doing so much heavy damage. It's best just leave them in there. Careering around, shattering the enemy. Like I said, the goal is to get about 20% casualties instead of, what, 48? Pharaoh has 39 people. Are you looking at Pharaoh Dynasties? Because Pharaoh is the non-Dynasties version. Like, no one's playing that. Warhammer 3 has a 25k player peak. Yeah, that's reasonable. Boom. Smashed. Dynasties is 450. Yeah, there we go. Not much better, but yeah. Well, I mean, like, compare the number of people playing Dynasties right now to whatever had the concurrent for Troy and for Thrones, because that's essentially what it is. An untitled saga. And that's broadly what we should be comparing it to, in my opinion. Okay, we lost 1,387. Which, yeah, it's pretty much just over 20%. Boom. Didn't lose a whole unit anywhere. Nope. Wonderful. Rectum. Giggity. Slam dunks of a siege. 143 left. Bye-bye. Troy is 300 and Thrones is 251. So yeah, when you have to kind of compare it to its class of Total War game, which then goes to show actually that Pharaoh Dynasty is doing pretty well. But in the wider pool of Total War games, no, not at all. But for what it is, or what it should have perhaps been, to clear expectations, it makes a lot more sense if you compare it to Troy and to Thrones. Yep, do that one again. Lovely. Okie dokie. Alright, yeah, we built them up. Let's get through here.
Make haste, men.
Bring this army straight in to hit Pergamon. Might need another army.
Besieging settlement.
And we can go just ahead and order resolve that, to be honest, but let's see if we can bring anybody else in.
Your orders.
Yeah, you're sailing over here. And we're going to bring the ship to support it.
Yes.
Warhammer 1 has more than Troy and Thrones, lol. I mean, it sounds like that surprises you, but it doesn't, just for what I've already said. Like, it's not comparable. They're not comparable titles. My fleets, yeah, we need to keep them here so that we can replenish them. Their supplies. But when we do go for the Crimea, we want... I mean, the garrisons might be strong enough that technically to order resolve, we'd need 2 fleets per settlement. But at least 1 fleet per settlement will let me take Goria, Tanis, and Pantic Papian all in one go, and then our armies can sweep at the same time. So we've got 2 fleets right now. We've got this one over here as well, so that can come up as well. That's our 3 fleets. For the time being, we've got another one here watching Sea Day. We've got some rebels there at Rhodes. They might be strong enough to see them off. Alright. You're recruiting all of them. One more turn, you get the Roman barracks, and you'll be able to get all the real good stuff. Just leave you recruiting all those right now.
Hunger for battle.
You guys can't really go... Oh, we could go after... Yeah, Media. Yeah. Just need you guys to replenish a bit more. Emperor...
Ready for battle.
Emperor could move to Tyros. Let's finish off, if we can. Oh, these guys... Oh, it's their fleet, isn't it? Well, I mean, this army should move then in that case, shouldn't it, really? Capito. I mean, I can't... Can't get any more fleets, that's the problem. I am limited. Put these guys into the sea, but then this fleet would just annihilate us.
Ready for battle.
So I might bring you guys round.
At once. At ease, men.
No, we'll do cultural conversion, actually.
Commander,
Give it another turn or two, you're replenished.
we hunger for
So actually, instead of sending the Emperor that way, I'm going to bring the Emperor down here.
Make haste, men. Ready for battle.
And we'll send those 2 down, so we'll just keep you there to hold for the time being.
Ready for orders.
Probably even just till next turn will be enough. This fleet, I think with the armies we're building up, we could move it. So what I'm going to do is bring you over to Rhodes. Deal with those rebels, which would then free up this army if I wanted to go up over here. I think Seed area, right? We'll see. Yeah, they've marched an army up here, so we'll see where they go.
My skill, as you command,
See where Rhodes is going.
can I be of more assistance?
Commander,
All those fleets assembled here. You guys are gathering in the north. That's fine. We're just going to let our culture spread and exert. And actually, I think it doesn't need to be over 50%, does it? It just needs to be the most prominent, dominant one, doesn't it? It doesn't need to be 50. It just needs to be the one present there, which shows that it is the dominant culture. Wish you could see more info. Nomadic culture, 82%. Yeah, so we didn't exert more cultural pressure across borders. Be quite useful, quite handy. The Troy exclusivity skews the player count a lot. I don't know, like, I don't think many people are still playing Troy even on Epic. Obviously, they gave it away, and I think it had something like 3 or 4 million plus downloads, if not more. But I think that's just because, you know, the initial spike would have been huge with people going, like, free game, let's try it out. How many of those actually then converted into long-time players that are still playing it now? But probably the numbers actually aren't too different, I wouldn't have thought.
We hunger for battle.
But I mean, the exclusivity deal and the lump sum CA got for that, it's you know, it's probably being filtered into their budgets for other games over the series, but it's the reason why they did Pharaoh. Like, some people are still really confused as to why they did Pharaoh. They did Pharaoh because, one, it was an asset flip for them. It was built on top of Troy, utilized a lot of the same stuff because it's another Bronze Age game. They could reutilize a lot of the stuff for it. So the actual development costs are really low for them. But also, the deal they got from Epic for the exclusivity for Troy paid for all their stuff for Pharaoh. Like, you know, that gave them plenty of money for them to spend on Pharaoh and not really care about how it did. I don't necessarily think that was the attitude of like, oh, we can just make any game and kick it out. But it's the reason why that came out next and why it, you know, OKCA were completely tone deaf to what the community actually wanted next for a historical title. But it's the reason why they did it, is that they could do it quickly, cheaply, and it didn't really cost them anything to do. What it ended up costing them was even more whittling down of the relationship between them and the community.
Finding shelter. March until your feet bleed.
Alright, we've got a spy over here.
Service. What do you wish of me?
Troy Pharaoh never is basically launched as what Pharaoh Dynasty is today. It would have done much better. Yeah, but again, like the whole premise of it wasn't about making the best possible game they could. It was about shipping out a title which got that Epic Games exclusivity backing, and obviously Troy ticked the boxes for that. Unfortunately, it was never about creating the definitive Bronze Age game and experience. It was about, you know, getting that Epic Games bank. What they tried to do with Dynasties, and I think what the original plan was, to have a trilogy of Bronze Age games that eventually all then stitched together Immortal Empires style. There would have been a third one. Because again, asset flip, they've already got the money for the budget of these games from that Epic deal. It's cheap for them to produce, and by this point they've got CA Sophia, who've not only made Troy, they've also made Pharaoh, so they know in and out of making it. Dynasties was kind of thrown together. What have we started working on the next title, or what are our plans for it? Let's squeeze it in and make a big final Pharaoh update, because we've finally seen the error of our ways, and the community just aren't vibing with this setting at all, or not enough for us to continue development of it. Well, that's I think actually that's probably largely irrelevant, because as we've said, they were developing because they could, resource-wise. But I guess they probably decided, you know what? The fallout from hyenas and the restructuring, redundancies and everything like that probably made them realize that they needed to free up CA Sophia from working on Bronze Age games and instead focus on, well, Warhammer 3 and what else was actually selling, so that they could retask their other teams on, you know, longer term projects to get them back in the driving seat again. So I think in a way, for those that don't enjoy Bronze Age games, weirdly, I think hyenas may have potentially saved us from another one. Because it made them finish up their cycle of the development of those titles sooner. We've already got one at Odessos, so we don't need that there. Go for a religious building, I think. Every cloud and all that, yeah. That would be my speculation of kind of broadly how things went. Like, I don't know if I'm actually that interested in a tell-all from CA explaining what's been going on over the last, like, 5-10 years and what influenced their decision-making. You know, not necessarily, I don't even think necessarily that they owe it to us, but part of me goes, oh, I'd love to be a fly on the wall and actually know what the reasoning was for all this. But I think broadly we can kind of deduce that it's probably something along my speculation lines. Probably. The biggest thing is going to be seeing what the lessons that have been learned and which lessons have actually stuck for 40k and for Medieval 3. So give it 3 or so more years and hopefully we'll be able to see what the state of CA and how they plan and how much they actually value and utilize community feedback, and how good of a understanding they actually have of community sentiment and what the community actually wants. Still obviously trying to find a balance between, you know, because they don't have to just appease the community all the time. They can do their own thing, obviously. The, you know, private company doing their own thing. 100% they should have their own vision, they should have their own drive for certain things. But it will be interesting to see whether they've learned the lessons that they need to learn here. Just gotta hope the new engine and Medieval 3 40k will be... Yeah, I mean, I think that's a big part of it. I think moving on to a new engine gives them that opportunity as well. And I think that is probably one of the biggest nods that they can actually go, you know, looking at the community and go, you know what, yeah, we have heard you. Here's our new engine, finally. You guys have been asking for it for years and years and years, and, you know, we've done the best we can with the current aging tech. And we've probably had it running for another 5 years past where it should have been. But here's a fresh start, and here's a fresh approach to lots of things, which so far, you know, again, I don't want to put Medieval 3 onto a hype pedestal, but so far, everything that they have described and discussed and shown of it so far is very much in the very positive, you know, column of what they need to be doing. They don't have to be doing what the community want, but it would help if they want the community to buy their stuff, yeah. Anything important happening here? Carthaginians fail to recapture Sardinia. Good. Spain, the Carthaginian general Hannibal is denied any reinforcements from Spain for his forces now based in Italy by the activities of the Roman general Publius Cornelius Scipio and his brother Gaius Cornelius Scipio Calvus, who in a battle at Dotosa near the Ebro River effectively stopped the Carthaginian general Hasdrubal's attempt to break through to Italy. Roman Republic, the Roman law Lex Oppia is instituted by Gaius Oppius, a tribune of the plebs during the consulship of Quintus Fabius Maximus Veracossus and Tiberius Sempronius Gracchus. The Lex Oppia is the first of a series of sumptuary laws introduced in Rome. It not only restricts women's wealth, but also they're displaying it. Oh my. The Roman general Marcus Claudius Marcellus again repulses an attack by Hannibal on the city of Nola. Hannibal's forces occupy the cities of Heraclea and Thuria. However, Hannibal is unable to prevent the Romans from besieging Capua. In Greece, Philip V of Macedon and Hannibal negotiate an alliance under which they pledge mutual support and defense. Specifically, they agree to support each other against Rome and that Hannibal shall have the right to make peace with Rome, but that any peace would include Philip and that Rome would be forced to give up control of Corcyria, Apollonia, Epidaminus, Pharos, Dimael, and Parthene, and Atintania, and to restore Demetrius of Pharos and all his lands currently controlled by Rome. The Seleucid Empire, the Seleucid King Antiochus III crosses the Taurus, uniting his forces with Attulius of Pergamon, and in one campaign deprives his rebel general Accius of all of his dominions and takes Sardis with the exception of the citadel. Oh my, what a year 1215 BC it was indeed. Oh my, God, we got so much money building up in our bank, we're going to hit 1 million next turn unless we build more things. Just chuck that in there and let me just see what we can now recruit. Okay, yeah, there we go. That's what we want. Oh, we're going to get the one though. Bit by bit, we shall. It's going to be because it needs plebs, right? Yeah, and how many plebs do we have here? Not enough. Yes, the culture wars begun. They have. If I don't think I can raise more armies, can I? No, I can't. So I could bring this army over to shore them up and then bring them back as a mule force. Or I could recruit that and then sail you over to go pick them up. But actually, we could mix you over there and you could probably pick up the rest that you actually need. So let's do that. Let's send you that way. How are these forces? Are we looking strong enough to go finish these guys off? Not only they've got that fleet, but we could catch them on the beaches as they land, to be fair. We could bring the Emperor down, couldn't we? Oh, I can nearly make it. Oh, you know what? Let's bring him down. Let's bring him down. Because he can then... Yeah. Oh, seriously? You can't reach? Oh, no. Can these guys reach from... No. Dang it. Okay, fine. The Emperor will attack next turn. Oh, that's annoying. We'll let these two... Well, not that one. You move to Jerusalem then, because that was replenishing there, I'm pretty sure. You guys stay there. But you'll have to move out the settlement. Yeah, you're going to replenish less, but go to your border here, then both of you could... Well, actually, no, you can stay in there, because then you can move to where the Emperor is, and the Emperor can go in and actually initiate. Yeah, that's fine. Then you're replenishing. Right, we will pick things up from here. Next time, we'll get Crassus on over here and start replenishing him, and then get him back into the fight. So until the next episode, where you've been watching, I hope you've enjoyed. Take care, and ciao for now.